So this should be a good one. Two of the greats of the game. And here we go. Robert Atha on the right of your screen will put it into play on the 5. Taken away here by Tony, who can't hold on to it. He gets through to the 3 of Atha. Rob going to go with the snake shot and fire it home far side to make it 1-0. We've seen some great matches here this weekend, played at a very high level. And I think we can expect the same here. There isn't much doubt that eventually Robert Atha will enter the International Table Soccer Hall of Fame. Obviously, Tony Spredeman will as well. Talked about the fact that, you know, after Frederic Collignon, Robert Atha might be the second best multi-table player in the history of the sport. He's up 2-0 here in game number 1. The only thing kind of holding him back from really being a definitive second place behind Fred is the lack of a Tornado World Championship. Yet he is still a sensational Tornado player. It seems to be just a matter of time before Rob does eventually get one. He's up 2-0 here and looks to make it 3-0 from snake shot position as he walks it. Trying to come near side, blocked by Tony, up into the air and off the table. Another great weekend of table soccer here in Thornton. 10th year. That seems amazing. But it's been 10 years since we first came to Thornton to cover this event. The 10th version of this, starting back in 2013. Kind of a slow start for Tony and a quick start for Rob, who's up 3-0 here in game number 1. Spredeman tried to flip it over, and then Rob banks it beautifully off that outside wall to make it 4-0. There are a pretty short list of players who have defeated Tony Spredeman in singles. Again, this is probably the greatest singles player in the history of American table soccer. But Atha's on that list. Atha does have wins over Tony. There are not many other players that do. A little hesitation runner here from Atha, who can win game number 1. To come near side off the corner and in, so Robert Atha comes out and defeats Tony Spredeman 5-0 in the first game. And the winner of this one will advance to the Open Singles Final. And Tony finally on the scoreboard. Atha continuing to shoot it well. And again, it's just remarkable how little wasted motion there is in the release of shots from Robert Atha. He makes it look easy. It is not, folks. Trust me, it is not easy to do what Robert Atha does. But such economy of motion, such intelligence behind every offensive effort and defensive ploy. And he is the kind of player that's certainly at any time capable of beating anyone. Some of Robert Atha's biggest wins internationally have come over Frederic Collignon. He has won world championship finals against Collignon. He's up 1-0 here in game number 2 as he once again sets it up. Trying to come near side. That one's going to hop up into the air. Tony grabs it off that back pin down the middle, blocked by the 5 of Atha. And that has earned him another opportunity to go up, and he does. Basically shooting at Tony's man to the far side. It's 2-1. 7-1 so far in favor of Atha. And Tony comes right back, ripping that one home near side to make it 2-2. And that pass attempt off the man and in. It's 3-2. 8-2 so far in favor of Robert Atha. When have you ever seen a run like that against Tony Spredeman? Tony tic-tacking, bouncing it through. Spredeman Looking near side. Atha got a man on it. Rebound comes back to Tony, who flips it over down the middle to make it 3-3. Best 3 games out of 5. Atha already leading 1-0. Tony with a hustling play on that with a left hand to keep it in his goal area, then sends it to the 5. Stepping into the forward position, Tony goes through the lane. That shot attempt blocked up into the air and off the table. These two guys have played in so many big matches over the course of their careers. Off the outside wall, Tony jumps back there to gain possession. And we talked about it earlier in the open doubles match. Tony loves to be challenged. He isn't often challenged. He is such a dominant player that when he does get someone who can hang with him, he loves it. And you usually see some of Tony's best foosball when he has an opponent that can equalize much of what he does.
Rewind it. And dive.
Can you rewind?
I thought it didn't bounce back. You check? I thought I was okay.
Live, I didn't think it was stuff.
You didn't think it was stuff?
I didn't. Live, I didn't. No, but
I don't think it was. I'd love to rewind. It did dive. I know what you said. It didn't bounce back up. I would repass it. I'm 100% right.
We're going to discuss this one. One thing you don't want to do, and if you're most players, is you don't want to poke the bear when it comes to Tony Spredeman. Tony is 100% sure of it. Is there any way to replay? All right, we're going to check and see if we can replay it. Rob is sure he did not pass a stopped ball. Tony is 100% sure he did.
can't rewind Twitch. Even on Twitch?
Are you rewinding or no? He's on his way. It's taken a few minutes. No, it's fine. We'll play. It's fine.
Sorry.
Ready? Yep.
All right. So I think they've decided they're just going to put it back into play on the 5 of Atha. It will be interesting to go back and have a look at that later. Tony was 100% convinced, and Rob was 100% convinced on the other side of it. And these are two of the most perceptive foosball players anywhere. So it's kind of interesting that they both were 100% convinced on their side of the argument. And Atha able to pass it through and call timeout. However, I think now Tony is in the game. There's no more friendship. These guys are great friends, but here's Atha looking for the lead here in game number 2, and he finds it as he strokes it home near side. Two of the great singles players in the world battling here on table number 1 at the 2022 Colorado State Championships. Atha tried to go through the lane with a brush pass, knocked down by Tony, comes back to Rob. Rob tried to go through the lane. Tony got a man on it. And the steal here by the quick-handed Spredeman. Tony passing near side, blocked by Atha. Along the outside wall, Atha got a man on it. It comes back to Tony at goal. Tony will now use the left hand to fire that one towards Atha's goal. Rob steps back there, looks to bank it. Instead, fires it straight wide of the goal, up into the air and off the table. Spredeman will put the ball back into play. Again, looking 2 to the 5. And stuffed back into the goal by Atha. It's 2-0 in favor of Robert Atha. Here we go. Third game underway. Tony down 2-0. Shot attempt blocked up into the air and off the table by Atha. And again, Robert Atha, one of the few players in the world who can literally stare Tony in the eye, play him head to head. He does not fear Tony at all. Knows he can beat him, has beaten him. Can play at the same level as Tony. We're talking about, again, one of the greatest players to ever play the game internationally. His lack of a Tornado World Championship really is the only thing that kept him from being in our top 50 last year. Top 50 players on the American Tour. Top 50 players all time internationally, he's in the top 2 or 3. Talking about Atha. We had him on the air earlier, and he described 9 different tables that he had won world titles on in the open division. He's looking for the lead early on here in game number 3, and he finds it. What a performance so far from Robert Atha. Got Tony on the ropes. Tony, a quick pass, pull kick. The rebound comes back to him, and he fires it home. Here comes Spredeman. We're not playing anymore, folks. This is a battle here on table number 1. See if Atha can hold on after going up 2-0. Rob. Try to come near side. Tony with the block. Quick shot attempt by Spredeman. Blocked by Atha. Banked off that inside wall. A hustling save by Spredeman. Tony will use the left hand here to send it up the table towards the goal. Calmly getting the left hand back there to keep it out is Atha. Pass attempt stolen away by Tony. Quick flip over near side, wide of the goal. Atha looking at the banks. Try to go off that inside wall up into the air and off the table. Tony Spredeman will put it back into play. We're even at 1 here in game number 3. Tony sends it to the 5, steps into the forward position, passes along the outside wall, and then strokes it home deep to that near corner. And Tony now up 3-1. Tony always looking for things to motivate him. Right now he looks very motivated. Although he's down 2-0, and now Atha with a chance to pull back within 1. But Spredeman able to block it up into the air and off the table. How does Robert Atha now adjust to this? Tony is, you can see him. He is like a live wire. Spredeman is coming back. It's just whether or not Atha can hold him off. Puts it back into play, fires that one wide of the goal. I think Atha smartly maybe will slow things down here a little bit. Robert along that near wall. Atha quick shot again near side. Tony hammered it towards that inside wall, then steps up there to grab the rebound. Tic-tac hesitation, push kick, makes it 4-1. Spredeman just a goal away now from getting back into this match. It's going to be interesting to see how Atha responds, because right now the momentum on the left side of the table after Atha came out and played a nearly perfect first 2 games. Banked off the inside wall by Rob. 4-1 lead here in the third for Tony Spredeman. It's the winner's bracket final of open singles. I believe this is the first time that Robert Atha has attended the Colorado State Championships. And it's awesome to have him here. He brings a new special kind of element to any event he attends. And Atha able to grab it on the 3 run and quickly convert near side. It's now 4-2. Spredeman through the lane, looking to extend this match to a 4th game, and he does with that rolling pull shot. It's 2-1. Fourth game underway. Atha putting it into play, try to brush it through the lane, taken away by Spredeman. Atha's got to be really careful here. He's got to get back to what he was doing those first 2 games, and he does find that hole near side to make it 1-0. Big shot here from Atha, sent towards the goal with a 5. Atha, again, effortlessly kept it out. Now use the left hand to turn it over to Tony. Spredeman looking to even it up. Try to go down the middle, looking at the pull kick. And then we'll set up the snake. Shot attempt far side, blocked by Atha. And Tony wants that pull kick, just finding the right time to unleash it. We'll go back to the snake, and another block here by Rob. And a left hook to make it 1-1. The release on that is just so quick and explosive. Tied up at 1 here in game 4, and good timeout called here by Atha. Got a good one here on table number 1, folks. Rob will put the ball back into play and quickly advance it along that near wall. Looking for the lead from snake shot position. Manchester, Great Britain's Robert Atha has that one blocked by Tony. Spredeman tried to angle it towards the goal, and a pull kick rimmed off both posts. Takeaway here by Spredeman. Rob needs to gather in it a little bit, begin to take his time. Right now, this match being played at Tony's pace. Rob is getting some blocks, but Tony getting a lot of possessions. Spredeman for the lead. Strokes it back down the middle. It's 2-1. Robert Atha rushing it down along the wall. Tony there defensively. Try to go through the high lane, blocked away. Tony with a left hand. Looking to pass it along the inside wall towards the goals. Atha got a left hand back there and then quickly advances it down the middle. Foosball at the highest level, folks. Atha trying to take it out to the far side. Tony with a block in the save. Sends that one down the middle, up into the air, and off the table. It kind of jumped in the air. The hole looked like it was there. Atha will put it back into play. He leads 2-1. He trails 2-1 here in the 4th. Rob looking to bank. Trying to go off the inside wall. It bounces and is grabbed on the 3 by Atha. Rob strokes it home far side. It's 2-2. 2-2 here in the 4th. You kind of sit on the edge of your seat with a match like this, never knowing what you're going to see next. Tony to the lane, can't hold on to it. A rare dropped pass from Spredeman. Atha will step back offensively. Rob sends that one on goal, then tried to stab it in on the rebound. Tony got a man on it. Secondary rebound grabbed by Atha, who sets it up. Waits, rocks, and hammers it home to that near side. Tony thought he was there. And Tony will call timeout.
You're unbelievable. It's a shirt. Put on a real
Incredibly entertaining match here on table number 1. It's like watching 2 magicians on the table, isn't it, folks? Extraordinary. Tony will put the ball back into play quickly. Tried to pass it along the outside wall. Stolen away by Atha, who leads 3-2 here in the 4th, leading 2-1, and the steal by Tony. Spredeman to the near side. It's 3-3. Atha tried to brush it through. Tony knocked it down. Rob will get another chance to advance at 5-3, which he does along the wall. For the lead, Atha, quick shot far side, blocked up into the air and off the table. Tony will put the ball back into play at goal. Going to go 2 to the 5, which he does, and then sends it into the goal with that 5 row. It's 4-3. Tony now just a goal from sending it to a 5th and final game. Back comes Atha through that lane. Rob. Oh, that hold might have been there. The shot just wide. Again, off the table. And it'll be put back into play by Spredeman. Tony, left hand to the 5. Shot attempt, blocked by Atha. Tony now with a chance to send it to game number 5. And he does. Robert Atha wins the first 2 games of this winner's bracket final. Tony Spredeman comes back to win games 3 and 4 in a match played at the highest level possible here on table number 1. And we are headed to game number 5 in what has been an extremely entertaining match. Here we go, 5th game underway. Atha lost it backwards, is able to grab it on the 2 row. Sent up the table, he almost lost it. Was looking to maybe bank it off the outside wall, and then in order to keep it off of Tony's 3 rod, sent it in, but back comes Tony with a left hook to make it 1-1. Somehow Rob able to get that one through along the wall for the lead. Atha. And Tony with a block. Atha will get another chance here. And he does find that hole, I believe, cutting it back a little bit between Tony's men to make it 2-1. Tony can't connect on the pass. Atha grabs it with a left hand. Looking to pass. Rushes it to the 5. Atha. We'll call timeout. 2-1 lead for Great Britain's Robert Atha here in the 5th and final game of this open singles winners bracket final. Hope everybody watching at home on both InsideFoods.com and Twitch is enjoying what they're seeing, because we certainly are up here. Atha tried to pass it through that high lane after putting it back into play. Rob trying to brush it down. Tony's so quick defensively using the right hand. Atha is able to get this one through. Looking for a 2-goal lead here in game 5. Robert Atha. Walks it. Try to come near side. Tony there to make the block. Spredeman with the left hand. Fires that one down the middle on goal, and then scoops up the rebound on the 3. Spredeman hammers it home near side. It's 2-2. Atha getting it moving slowly, and then brushes it up nicely. For the lead, Robert Atha. It's 3-2. Tony calls timeout. Tony thinks he's there, and maybe Rob's cutting it back a little bit. Either way, Robert Atha now up 3-2 here in the 5th. Such respect for each other, no question about it. Tony puts it into play. Quick pass attempt blocked in, taken away by Atha. Rob steps into the forward position, again looking to advance it, which he does with that Colorado runner. Robert Atha tried to take it back out to that far side, blocked by Tony, who picks it up on the 5. Quick pass attempt blocked by Atha. Nicely along the outside wall goes Tony. Could they even it at 3 here in game number 5? And he does by chipping it down the middle against that post-up defense. What a shot by Tony. It's 3-3. The ability to read at high speed is extraordinary. And Tony gets a piece of this Atha pass. Fires that pull kick just wide, and it comes right back and lands on the 3 rod of Atha. Rob. Is he going to continue to go near side? No, far side here. It's match point for Robert Atha. can't connect on the pass. Grabbed by Rob. Chips it through the lane to his 5. And taken right back by Tony. Spredeman, quick left hook attempt taken right back by Atha, who will step away and call time out. Possession of the ball on the 5 of Robert Atha, who will put it back into play. Rob able to brush this one through. A chance to win it here for Atha, who sets it up against Spredeman. And strokes it home to that far side. What a match here on table number 1 as Robert Atha wins the first 2 games of this winner's bracket final. Spredeman comes back to win games 3 and 4, but it's Atha who holds on in game number 5 to win 5-3 and advance to the open